We are back with the second half of my interview with Marcos Leal, the singer to Shattered Sun and El Nino this time. He's telling us all about how he joined up with the guys from El Nino and what the guys are up to today. So let's get right to it.
This was something that happened over about a 2-year period. So, just to kind of give you the rundown of it, in about 2016 or 17, they were on the road supporting the 15-year anniversary of one of the records. I don't know if it was Confessions or if it was Revolution. And I grew up idolizing El Nino, everything about them. They were my band growing up, dude. Like, so much so that I was in a El Nino cover band, man. That before I joined Shattered Sun, that's what I was doing, singing El Nino songs and Soulfly and Fear Factory and all the new metal classics. And so I kind of know the band very well, dude. I followed them very, very much so. And I won a radio contest to go meet them when I was 16. And I did my hair up in dreads and dressed up like Christian and went out to Concrete Street and got to meet them. And, that was a turning point in my life, because that was the show where I watched them in Soulfly. And I was like, this is what the fuck I want to do with my life. And so fast forward to 2016, they get the opportunity to tour with them, and I literally jumped out of my damn pants, man. I was so excited. And, they wanted us to come on the road. So we went out and we were the opening band. And the first day that I met Christian and I met Dave and all the guys, I said, I know every single word off of the first 3 records, man. I could recite them to you right now. That's how much I love this band. And they're like, I think they probably hear that a lot or have heard that. So they're like, we'll see. We'll put you to the test. And so a couple nights later, I'm watching them on the side stage, and their drum tech at the time comes up to us and says, hey, Christian wants to know if you want to sing a song. And I said, cool, what song? And he hands me the mic and he says, the test is on. So I walk up on stage, and I don't know what song we're playing at all. And this is how I was like, okay, I'm either going to know this or I'm going to be badly embarrassed right now. And Christian was like, announced me and said, oh, we're playing, this next one's called Rip Out Your Eyes. I knew it to the T. I wound up knocking it out of the park that night, and I'll never forget going off to the side of the stage and I love that band. You know what I mean? I loved them growing up. So to be up there and doing that meant so much to me. And I did such a good job that after the show, the guys were like, hey, do you want to do Rip Out Your Eyes every night? And I said, absolutely. I would fucking be honored to. So throughout that tour, that's kind of where I saw the band was, they were in a tough spot. You know what I mean? They'd been going at it a while. Maybe some people were not as into it as they should be or wanted to be, or whatever the case may be. So a few days, Christian decides to not do sound check. So they asked me to do it. And I remember going up there and singing a few songs with them. And I think that was the first time, not only just Dave, but I think everybody in the band at that point kind of looked at me and looked at Dave and was like, maybe this is something here. You know what I mean? So we finished the tour. I wound up being really cool with everybody. And a couple years later, man, Dave comes out to see me in Dallas. We were playing the Shattered Sun show, and he comes out to see me. And he goes, hey, I'm going to call you this week. I need to talk to you about some important things. I said, okay, cool. He gives me a buzz, and he officially offers me a tryout for El Nino. And I'll tell you this, dude, I haven't told anybody this, but I'll tell you this. I was very hesitant to take it because of how much I really idolized Christian and how much I really cared about the band. I mean, I love the band. I didn't want to see another singer come in. You know what I mean? Like, so I initially had said, I don't think that's the right move. And then I kind of sat on it, and I started thinking, man, how many opportunities like do you get in this life to really like reshape and resurrect the band that you love so much that you know is, you know, the flame's dying out. Yeah, and I sat on it. I talked to my managers, I talked to my bandmates, and I just kind of said, hey, you know what? I'm going to make a decision for myself, and I really want to do this. And I called Dave up and said, send me the songs. So I that day I tried out, and that day he called me back and said, you know, we're going to give you the gig. And I'll never forget it to this day. I told him there's not another person on this planet that's going to sing the songs and know them and put as much passion into it as I am. When I took this gig, that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to restore the band to where they were. And when I first saw them, they were fucking blowing up. You know what I mean? And I wanted to bring that back, and I wanted to bring another generation into it. And just the opportunity to get to do it, aside from the success that it's had, but the chance to do it and really put your fingerprints on it is, you know, something that I kind of have to pinch myself still to this day to be like, holy fuck, is this really, it's really going down, or what the fuck is happening? And I think that's pretty reflective of how everything's going now. You know what I mean? I was inadvertently training for this gig when I was 14, 15, 16 years old, man. So it's kind of been a shocker, but, you know, it's also kind of been a really, really big blessing. What happened is those split, and 3 of the old members were trying to take the name, but the name has always belonged to Dave Shivari and Laz, who started the band. And you know, there was a ugly court battle and a lot of shit talk thrown back and forth, and, you know, unfortunately the fans got involved, and sometimes they're still involved, you know what I mean?
Oh my goodness. I don't know. I'd probably, you know, they say that if you don't have something nice to say, to just not say anything. And I hope they find their way. That's all I could say, you know. And that's not to say that they won't, you know. I mean, all it takes is great songwriting talent. That's the first thing that it takes. First, well, technically, first you're a musician.
Yeah.
And you have to have like some kind of understanding of songwriting, and especially if you can understand what connects with you, then you can understand what connects with people. And, you know, they might find their way, they might not. And all I could say is it doesn't sound like they found their way yet, you know. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, actually,
I some luck. I don't like being resentful, you know. I don't like being a person that is like, oh, I'm upset because of this. Did I learn my lesson? Yeah, I learned my lesson. Do I know what to look out for? Yeah, I know what to look out for. You know, am I ever going to be involved with people like that? No, you know, but I'm not going to be resentful, and, you know, I'm just going to do my thing. And I really have nothing to really be resentful about, man. I had an amazing career, and the fans really were the thing that was the most powerful for me. Was, you know, the fans, the people that listened to the music. It wasn't like business element of this or that, or, you know, who said this or who said that, or any drama or anything around it. It was just the fans, you know. Luckily we had a label that was awesome, and that pretty much just opened the door. But as far as like going back to what made that name special, I don't know. I suppose they could reinvent it, you know, reinvent what made the name special. Maybe, I don't know.
There is only one El Nino. There's always ever only been one El Nino. And, you know, to to Chris and Diego and Aru, I've always wished them the best. And I know they have a band called Lions at the Gates. They're putting out some pretty phenomenal tunes, and I'm very happy for them. And I think the one thing that I'm probably happiest about is that everybody seems to kind of be moving on, and the fans are accepting me as the new vocalist, and really propelling the band back to where they used to be, and those guys get to start their band and take it in their direction and have creative freedom and everything that they want. So it's I'm happy that it's to the point where I think everybody's just kind of like, okay, everybody's moved on, and I think that's for the better. But I do wish those guys nothing but the best, and regardless of the shit that's gone down, I'll always have respect for Chris, and he's a big influence on why I'm even doing music. So it's kind of a double-edged sword there. I love when I hear the old fans come up and tell me their stories, dude, because I share those same stories too, man. I have many memories linked to these songs, and then I also see people just like you that are coming, man, I never gave a shit about this band. Yeah. I remember my mom and dad being like, hearing El Nino and hearing the Spanish side of it, and hearing the acoustic guitars and that whole element to it, and then being like, this is music. And I was kind of like, okay, well, this can be my band, you know what I mean? Like, and I remember thinking that all the way back then, and I think that more than ever now.
I'm assuming you have some pretty cool stories from the road. Is there anything you can tell us, man?
I think one of the coolest stories that has ever happened is when Shattered Sun was first starting out, man, we did a show with Soulfly, and man, I loved Max so much, and we opened up the show, and I remember I waited for him outside of the thing, and Max is pretty he's pretty to himself, and they're a very tight camp and stuff, and I went to go run up on him like a psychopath after the show, and they were just like, dude, what the fuck? So, kind of, I don't want to say it crushed me, but, it made me feel kind of crappy, but, seeing your idol kind of blow you off a little bit, but I totally understood now. Back then, I was just a dumbass little kid that didn't know, just running up on a guy in the middle of the night. But when we actually got the opportunity to open for Soulfly, and Soilwork, it was Shattered Sun, Soilwork, and Soulfly. I had just walked off stage. My manager, Chuck Billy, was there at the time. In the room with us was Speed from Soilwork, and I already idolized those two dudes. And then fucking Max Cavaletta walks in with a bottle and a big freaking thing of Blue Moon for us, and he just says, "Hey, welcome to the tour, guys. I'm very, very happy to have you guys here." And I was just couldn't tell you how fucking elated I was, man. Just seeing him there and getting. Now Max is a good friend of mine, but when you're in that moment, dude, it's hard to. My mom always tells me, like, why the fuck didn't you get a picture? I'm like, because you're fucking in the moment, and your fucking heroes are in the room, man. Like, and you just kind of want to live in it, and it's definitely something that's been super special that I've always kind of hold in my heart. I think I kind of remind Max every time I see him. I'm just like, oh man, I still think about that. He's like, dude, fuck off. One infamous night I was on tour with Slayer, Mayhem Fest, and we had just got off the tour with Exodus, and Gary Holt plays for Slayer. So we were having a big Mayhem party, and Gary knew us. So we were kind of like the cool kids in town, and we got to go hang out in fucking Slayer's dressing room and do all that stuff. Well, anybody that knows me knows I'm a huge Cowboys fan, and I have done some stupid shit for my team, bro. I will tell you that much. So I wore a Cowboys getup into Slayer's dressing room, and they're all Raiders and 49ers fans, and they literally were just like, "Oh, who brought the fucking cowboy?" And fucking started feeding me drinks, and we started talking about it. He was like, "Oh yeah, I remember we smashed all his asses back in fucking '94," and I was just like, "Bro, I was fucking 4 in '94." You know what I mean? But we wound up getting really sauced on Jaeger, and I wound up putting somebody in a headlock, and just jokingly, and then fucking somebody was like, "All right, get that fucking guy the fuck out of here." And I wound up getting carried to the van, and I woke up the next morning at a truck stop, and I woke up, still had football paint on me and my cowboy shit on, and everybody was like, "Bro, I can't believe you did that last night." I was like, "What the fuck did I do?" I was like, "Oh my God, what'd I do?" And they were like, "Dude, you had Gary Holt in a fucking headlock, and you were fucking sauce screaming about cowboy shit, and they had to have you removed from the room." And I was just like, Jesus Christ. So the next day I see, I was just itching to get an apology to those guys, because I felt like a fucking asshole. And they were like, "Dude, they're probably going to fucking big time you now." And I went to catering. I was like, "Hey, Gary. And he fucking just gave me the, "Yeah, what's up, bro?" And fucking walked off. But yeah, a couple shit to apologize. And those guys are really cool, and have always taken care of us anytime we've been around them. People will remember that one, I promise you. And congrats on the thing you did with Vanilla Ice.
Oh.
No crock pot could ever be the dog that's hot.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Let me know what you thought down in the comments. Hit that like, hit that subscription, and also hit that little notification bell in order to stay up to date with Staunch TV. Word to your mother, get yourself a goddamn Staunch TV t-shirt. We also got hoodies, we got mugs, we got other cool shit on there. Get yourself something. Vanilla Ice has one. Don't you want to be like Vanilla Ice? Doesn't everybody want to be cool as Ice? Don't be a dick. Get a shirt.